Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today, you're talking sports with MJ Johnson. Today, we have the 2021 NFL season power rankings for week number 2. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you guys hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button for Eagles content, because I am an Eagles fan, and other content around the NFL, NBA, and other sports as well. Also, too, if you have any disagreements with the power rankings or any thoughts and opinions, leave a comment down below, because I read pretty much every comment. So if you want to interact with me, the comment section is the place to go. Also, you can click the link in the description to join my Discord, where you can talk to me more there. And you can subscribe to my podcast with my 2 other friends. The Big Podcast link will be down in the description. Now, before we get into this video, man, this is week 2 of the NFL power rankings. And listen, I got a lot of changes from week 1. Obviously, you had some upsets. You had a lot of things happen. So let's get right into it now. So we're going to start from 32, and we're going to go all the way to 1. So the 32 ranked team in this week's power rankings will be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Earlier last week for week 1 power rankings, I had them ranked at 29. So they dropped 3 spots down. They got blown out by the Houston Texans, which I didn't expect. I expected that to at least be a close, competitive game, but they got blown out. Trevor Lawrence with 3 interceptions. And I just need to see this team grow. This is a young team. They're going to make a lot of young mistakes, but the point for them is not to be top 10 in power rankings. The point for them is just to continue to grow. So, I mean, they might be around this spot all year, but as long as they're growing and getting better as a team, that's what really matters to them. So the Jaguars are at 32. At 31, you got the New York Jets. They lost a close 14-19 game to the Carolina Panthers. Started off as a little bit of a blowout. The Panthers had the 16-0 lead, but the Jets fought back, came short though in a loss. They were at 30 for my week 1 power rankings, so they dropped down 1 spot. It's a lot of things they got to clean up. Still a young team. They're a good left tackle. Mekhi Becton is injured, so that hurts him. But number 31 is a good spot for the Jets. At number 30, I have the Atlanta Falcons, who got destroyed by my Philadelphia Eagles. I had them ranked at number 24 for week 1's power rankings, so they fell down 6 spots. And they just have a lot they have to work on. Their defense did not look good whatsoever against a very young Eagles offense. And then their offense only put up 6 points, no touchdowns, just a lot of concerns there. Kyle Pitts didn't really do much. Calvin Ridley, outside of the first 2 drives, didn't really do much. So the Atlanta Falcons have a lot to clean up. And honestly, they're just they might as well just rebuild. No point of trying to win now. Matt Ryan is at the back end of his career, man. So just number 30 for the Falcons. That's where I have them this week. Number 29, I have the Detroit Lions. Now, actually, they moved up 4 spots because I had them ranked at 32. But now they moved up from 32 to 29. And I think even though they lost, they almost came back and beat the 49ers, but they still lost. So they're still a bottom 4 team in the NFL. A lot to still work on, but the running backs look good with Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift, TJ Hawkinson did well. Jared Goff with a few turnovers, but like I said, they fought back at the end and almost beat the 49ers, but fell short. So number 29 is the Detroit Lions. Number 28, you have the New York Giants. I had them ranked at 25 for the week 1 power rankings, so they dropped 3 spots for me. Lost to the Denver Broncos. You know, I thought they would at least made it close against the Broncos, but you know, they didn't look that good. Daniel Jones fumbled the ball like he usually does, so that's still an issue for him. Saquon Barkley couldn't really find a rhythm coming back, but Saquon Barkley is his first week back. I didn't expect him to have like 150 yards and 3 touchdowns, but definitely a sloppy performance by the Giants. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Teddy Bridgewater looked comfortable against their defense. So the Giants at number 28 is where I have them this week. At number 27, I have the Washington football team, who lost to the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, the football team could have probably been ranked a little bit higher because they didn't really get blown out, but they did lose Ryan Fitzpatrick. They lost to the Chargers, and I honestly think if their defense has to go into every game carrying them, they can't win a lot of games. And the reason why I have them ranked so low is because their offense is too inconsistent outside of Terry McLaurin. So I definitely want to see improvements from the Washington football team. They dropped 7 spots. I had them ranked at number 20 for the week 1 power rankings. So there you go. At number 26, you have the Chicago Bears, who got embarrassed by the Los Angeles Rams. The Bears have a lot of questions right now. Is Andy Dalton even the quarterback they want to move forward with? I don't know. Do they want to start Fields? Eddie Jackson, their safety, who was a really, really good safety a couple years ago, but has not looked good since. So it's a lot of questions with the Chicago Bears. I had the Bears ranked at number 21, the week 1 power rankings, and they're at 26. So I had them dropping 5 spots. So 26 is the Chicago Bears. At number 25, you got the Carolina Panthers. They were recently ranked at 27, so they jumped 2 spots in a win versus the New York Jets. They didn't look the best, but they did end up getting the job done. Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson had a huge play in that game that gave them a lot of momentum. Brian Burns, who I'm personally high on, the defensive end from the Panthers, he got a sack. So the Panthers looked good, and Christian McCaffrey did Christian McCaffrey things. So pretty good game overall by the Panthers. They move up 2 spots in this week's power rankings. At number 24, you got the Houston Texans with probably one of the big surprises. Tyrod Taylor came out and he looked really, really good, destroying their division opponent in the Jacksonville Jaguars. I honestly didn't expect this. The Texans were ranked 31. They moved up to 24, so they moved up 7 spots in the power rankings. Just the performance they had, they look very, very convincing. A lot of the things coming out about them, the Deshaun Watson thing, how they were handling it, what their future was, it's a lot of questions. So the fact that they came out with all the talk around them, all the distractions they had, and still came out and had a good win, I got to respect that there. 24 is the Houston Texans. At number 23, we got the Minnesota Vikings, who had a disappointing loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. In my personal opinion, I thought they should have won the game, but they didn't, man. So the Minnesota Vikings are going to drop 4 spots. I had them at number 19 in week 1 power rankings. I need to see consistency out of the defense for them. And then Dalvin Cook with a costly fumble is really what sealed the deal there. But the Vikings, they still got a good offense. I just need to see consistent defensive play and no crucial turnovers in big moments. Number 23, the Minnesota Vikings. At number 22, you got the Cincinnati Bengals, who moved up 6 spots for me. I had them recently ranked at number 28. They had a big win. They move up 6 spots in my power rankings for week 2. I just think that the Cincinnati Bengals have a really, really young team, really young offense, has some nice defensive pieces over there. The reason why they're at 22 and they're right outside the top 20 is because they can do, I want to see them do this consistently. And if they can do this consistently, they can really be a top 20 team. But for right now, they are number 22. At number 21, you got the Indianapolis Colts, and people might be shocked by this, but I had them dropping a lot. Part of the reason why is their offensive line really disappointed me. And I don't like how the offensive line disappointed. Carson Wentz did look decent, had 2 passing touchdowns. But the offensive line was a big disappointment, and then getting torched by Russell Wilson. I know Russell Wilson torches a lot of defenses, but the Colts dropped a lot. They dropped 10 spots. I had them ranked 11 in the week 1 power rankings, so they dropped 10 spots in the power rankings. But the Colts at number 21, I need to see consistency in the defense, and the offensive line has to just play better, play up to what we know the offensive line of the Colts can play. At number 20, I had the New England Patriots. They were ranked 17 in my week 1 power rankings, so they dropped down 3 spots. But they lost in a close game. They've seen a lot of promise. Mac Jones made a couple of nice plays. Damian Harris played great at the running back position despite fumbling the football. I believe he had close, or he did have over 100 yards, so good rushing attack from the Patriots. Just need to see. I just wanted to see them close out a game, and they haven't been able to really close out a game since Tom Brady left. So if they can start closing out games, they're at number 20. They're still a top 20 team, but they can definitely jump in that top 15 if they can close out games like this and not have costly turnovers. At number 19, I got the Tennessee Titans with one of the most disappointing performances of the week. Not the most, one of the most. And that's because I just expected them to do way better. They offensive line, Taylor Lewan already came out, who allowed the 6 sacks against Chandler Jones. He said that he got exposed, and he absolutely did. Ryan Tannehill with 2 fumbles. Just a bad performance from Derrick Henry. Julio Jones, I forgot he was even out there. A.J. Brown did have a touchdown, though, so he does look like he's going to have a great season. But the Titans just disappointed me, like I said. And also, too, I want to make this a point, too. When I have teams that were playoff teams last year ranked and just inside the top 20, don't make that as disrespectful. This is the week 2 power ranking, so it's just where their team is at this week. This got obviously changed. The Titans could be top 15 right again next week, but they did drop 10 spots for me. Previously at 9 in my week 1 power rankings, dropped down to 19. At 18, you got the Dallas Cowboys. And now the reason why I have them ranked over the Tennessee Titans, because I know everyone's going to cry and complain over this, is because they at least play competitive and they didn't disappoint. And you could argue that the Cowboys won that game despite a pass interference penalty that could have been called on Chris Godwin. Honestly, I'm an Eagles fan, but I do have to respect the fact that the Cowboys did almost beat the Super Bowl champions. Dak Prescott looked solid, had 400 passing yards in the game. That's obviously promising. And like I said, man, if it wasn't for offensive pass interference that could have been called, they probably win this game, and they're probably in the top 12 to top 15 right now. So Dallas Cowboys at number 19. They dropped 3 spots, was ranked number 15 in my Week 1 power rankings. So they still dropped, but I do respect them for basically almost winning the game and showing up when they needed to. At number 17, number 17, you got the Denver Broncos. They moved up 9 spots. I previously had them ranked at number 26. Listen, man, the Denver Broncos, man, came out and absolutely destroyed the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. Defense came out, played well, got a turnover, and then Teddy Bridgewater did what he had to do. Jerry Jeudy with an injury, obviously you didn't want to see that, but the rest of the offense played well. They stepped up for Bridgewater, specifically Melvin Gordon. He closed out the game. And Melvin Gordon, remember a few years ago when he was with the Chargers, was a really good running back. Obviously last year had 900 yards, wasn't the best year for him, but Melvin Gordon is still a really good running back in this league. He showed why, and that's why I had the Broncos moving up 9 spots and putting themselves at number 17 in the power rankings. At number 16, I have my Philadelphia Eagles, just right outside the top 15. The Eagles looked amazing against the Atlanta Falcons. In the rushing game, Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell looked good. In the passing game, Hurts looked well. Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, everyone just did well for the Eagles offensively. Defensively, our run defense looked a little bit scary in a bad way in the first half, but we definitely got better in the third and fourth quarter, stopping the run, stopping the pass when we needed to, and absolutely not allowing a touchdown. That's great by our defense. And the reason why I don't think we're a top 15 to top 10 team yet, I just want to see this consistently. If our young players can consistently play like this, and we can get a win against the 49ers coming up in week 2, which I'll be doing a preview in the next couple of days for it, man, it's going to be interesting where I rank the Eagles next if they can get a win. But if our young players can do this consistently, we're at 16 right now, we definitely can be in the top 15 in the next few weeks or even next week. So I'll keep an eye on that. But the Eagles are the number 16 team, moving up 7 spots. We're recently ranked at number 23. So good job by my Philadelphia Eagles for moving up. At number 15, you have the Miami Dolphins, who actually dropped 2 spots, and I'm going to explain why. Well, I can explain why, because the 2 teams that I have above them, that I moved above them, were the Raiders, who had a better win than them. And like I said, the Dolphins won the game, but they dropped 2 spots because the Raiders had a better win and the Saints had a better win, which I previously had ranked behind Miami. So the reason why they got 2 spots moved back is because they had to make room for, like I said, the Raiders and the Saints, who had surprising wins. So the Miami Dolphins did everything they were supposed to win the game, came up in clutch when they had to, got the turnover they needed on the fumble. Miami Dolphins, top 15 team, definitely. And Tua, he didn't look the best, but he definitely had a solid game and got them the job done. Number 15 is the Miami Dolphins. At number 14, you got the Las Vegas Raiders, moving up 8 spots, recently ranked at number 22. And listen, man, the Raiders. I mean, definitely had game of the week. I thought the Cowboys game was the game of the week until I seen that Monday night matchup. Derek Carr being clutch, throwing a nice touchdown. The receivers, let's give a credit to the Raiders receivers. Darren Waller didn't have the best first half, but came in clutch in the second half. You had Zay Jones on a walk-off touchdown. I mean, the receivers and the weapons came up. Josh Jacobs had, I believe, 2 touchdowns in the game. So their weapons for the Raiders came in clutch, and I was the guy who I underestimated how good the Raiders' weapons were at the beginning of the year. But they definitely came up in clutch, and then Max Crosby, probably the player of the game, getting all the pressure on Lamar, being able to keep up with Lamar Jackson was just impressive. Max Crosby going to be a beast for years to come. But number 14 is the Las Vegas Raiders, moving up 8 spots in the power rankings. At number 13, you have the Los Angeles Chargers, moving up 3 spots, recently ranked In my last power rankings at number 16. The Chargers, they didn't have a flashy performance, but they did look pretty solid. Herbert had 300 passing yards, did what he do to get the job done. Austin Eckler came back and got a touchdown. Keenan Allen with 9 catches for 100 yards. So great all-around performance by the Chargers and got the job done when they needed to against a very, very tough Washington defense. So good performance by the Chargers all around. Justin Herbert looked decent. Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, the weapons look good. Joey Bosa and Derwin James are healthy on the defense, so look good for week 1 for the Los Angeles Chargers, ranked at number 13 for me, moving up 3 spots. At number 12, you had the Pittsburgh Steelers, who got an impressive win over the Bills. And they moved up 2 spots, recently ranked at number 14 in last week's power rankings. Man, Pittsburgh really, really surprised me. I thought they were definitely going to lose to Buffalo. Now, Buffalo did kind of look sloppy and unprepared, but I got to give credit to the Steelers, man. Chase Claypool had an amazing catch over a great corner in Tre'Davious White. So, I mean, there's just a great all-around performance by the Pittsburgh Steelers to definitely get themselves a solidified top 12 team. And if they keep this up, man, if they keep up this consistency with the defense playing well, I really think that the Steelers can still be a playoff team and compete for the AFC North. And they surprised me because I didn't think that before the season started. But they got to keep up the consistency, and I have to see it for more than 1 week. So top 12 for Pittsburgh. Could see a little bit more from them, but they definitely look impressive this week. At number 11, you had the Green Bay Packers dropping 6 spots, recently ranked in my last week 1 power rankings. They were ranked at number 5, man. They had the most disappointing game of the week. I honestly consider moving them back farther, but they're still a solid team. I mean, I think they play the Lions this week, so they should come out and beat the Lions. Aaron Rodgers is not looking good at all, looking like he didn't prepare at all. I mean, when you spend the whole offseason complaining about the Packers, I'm not saying that he didn't have the right to complain. He definitely had the right to complain. But when you spend the whole offseason complaining about the team, and that's just what happens, man. That's what happens. And you're unprepared. He hasn't been working off season like the rest of the team were. So I had the Packers at number 11. At number 10, you have the Baltimore Ravens, who moved down 4 spots, recently ranked at number 6. Had a really, really disappointing loss. It sucks, man. They had good defense in the first quarter, but after the end of the second quarter into the third and fourth, their defense just let up. They let Derek Carr do his thing against that defense. Lamar Jackson fumbling the ball in a crucial moment when they had a chance to win. It just sucks. And then to put the icing on the cake, giving up a game-winning touchdown just sucks for them. So definitely a little bit disappointing from them. But they're still going to be a good team. They play the Chiefs, which is going to be a hard bounce-back game. But, you know, hopefully for Ravens fans' sake, they can bounce back and do what they do best. But, yep, number 10 for the Baltimore Ravens, moving down 4 spots. At number 9, you have the Arizona Cardinals. I probably could have moved them up higher, but they moved up 3 spots, recently ranked in my last week 1 power rankings, ranked at number 12. The Cardinals looked amazing, was firing on all cylinders. Chandler Jones with 6 sacks. You got J.J. Watt fitting where he wants, doing a good job against Derrick Henry. You had the whole defense was playing well, and then the offense, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk. Everyone looked good in the Cardinals offense, man. Everything is just flowing. Cliff Kingsbury is making the proper adjustments when he needs to. So just an overall great game. And if we see this consistent from the Arizona Cardinals, they'll definitely be a playoff team and be a threat to win a lot of games for years to come. At number 8, you have the Buffalo Bills, who were recently ranked at number 3 in the week 1 power rankings. So they dropped 5 spots. The Bills lost to the Steelers. I just think they were a little bit unprepared. I mean, like I said, I didn't expect the Steelers to come out and put that performance up either. So if I was probably the Bills, I probably would have lost that game too if I was coaching them, because I didn't expect a lot from the Steelers coming out to play against the Bills like that, especially the way the Steelers played the Bills last year. You would think the Bills just would come out and dominate, but I feel like they were sleeping on the Steelers a little bit. But as far as the talent, it's still there, still one of the best teams in the AFC, still should win their division, and still the number 8 team, a top 10 team in my power rankings. At number 7, you got the Cleveland Browns. And honestly, people, I know y'all saying, why you got 0-1 teams in the top 10? Well, the Browns even have a better reason why you put them in the top 10 is because, one, the Cleveland Browns almost beat the best team in the AFC at Arrowhead. And I know they were just short, but you got to give respect to the Browns doing it without Odell Beckham Jr., their top wide receiver. It's not easy to go in the Arrowhead and carry all that momentum and sustain it for 4 quarters and stop that offense for 4 quarters. So I think that the Browns definitely gave a great competition to the Chiefs, made the Chiefs work, and just all around good performance, except for the 4th quarter for the Cleveland Browns. They are ranked at number 7. At number 6, you got probably they probably had the best performance this week. It's the New Orleans Saints, moving up 12 spots in this week's power rankings. And the reason why I have them moving so high, I believe I had them ranked at number 18. They're ranked at number 6 because, first off, Jameis Winston came out and he did so much improvement. His decision-making got better. His accuracy got better. He threw for 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. I know the Packers defense isn't the best, but that's good when you throw for 5 touchdowns against anyone, man. That's just lights out performance. And then the Saints defense, being able to do what they did against Aaron Rodgers, contain Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, it's just all around such a great performance by the New Orleans Saints. Was this a fluke game? We have to wait and see. But the Saints, man, they came out and beat last year was the 2nd best team in the NFC. They beat and exposed the MVP and blew them out in the process. Just all around good performance for the Saints. And they move up 12 spots. Number 6 is the Saints. At number 5, you got the Seattle Seahawks, and they beat the Indianapolis Colts. They went to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indiana and completely showed up and showed out. Tyler Lockett had himself a day, had 2 touchdowns, 100 yards, and 4 receptions. That's crazy. He had 4 receptions, and half of his receptions were touchdowns. I mean, Tyler Lockett just having a great productive game. Russell Wilson does what he does best and just torches defenses and just absolutely goes off. Chris Carson had a solid game as well. I just think the Seahawks just look so good. The defense actually looked good, surprisingly. Their defense held their own, and this is a good all-around performance, moving them into the top 5. I had them ranked at number 10 in last week's power rankings. They moved up 5 spots, moved up to number 5. Good job by the Seattle Seahawks, and definitely will compete for the division this season. At number 4, you have the 49ers. They move up 3 spots right last week, number 7. And the 49ers, even though they let up at the end, they made just little mistakes. It wasn't like anything that you should be concerned about. They made little mistakes, but other than that, they were blowing out the Lions for 3 quarters of the game, doing what they should do. Deebo Samuel had 189 yards. That's going to be something to look out as they play my Eagles this week. You had Deebo had a good game. Trey Lance got sprinkled and threw a touchdown. Jimmy Garoppolo did what he did. You had a pick 6 by Dre Greenlaw. Just a lot of things from the 49ers. And this looks like the 49ers of when they went to the Super Bowl. Getting turnovers on defense, controlling with the run game. Oh, did I mention Elijah Mitchell yet for the Niners, who had an amazing game too? And then Deebo going off, Elijah Mitchell going off, just a lot of things, man. So, number 4 for the 49ers, moving up 3 spots, is where I have them. At number 3, I have another team outside of the Saints who probably had the best performance this week, and that is the Los Angeles Rams. Niners fans aren't going to like that I have the Rams ranked over them, but you can flip-flop that either way. But I feel like the Rams just beat a better team by a bigger margin, and the Rams, they look so good, man. Look at Matthew Stafford, man. This man just completely slinging the ball around. Looks like Matthew Stafford when he threw for 4,000 yards, and threw for almost 5,000 yards, I believe, like 7 or 8 years ago. This looks like the old Matthew Stafford, who was a really good quarterback. Cooper Kupp had a good game. Robert Woods with a toe drag touchdown. That's what you love to see. The run game is going to be a question. They don't have an elite or above average running back, but they have good average running backs who can get the job done. And then Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey just doing what they do on defense, leading the defense together. And even outside of Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, you still had guys on other pieces on that defense who are no names, who we don't know or who casual fans don't know, but they show up and show out around Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and that's exactly what they did. They move up 5 spots, recently ranked at number 8 in their Week 1 power rankings. They definitely deserve to be in the top 5, and they're ranked number 3. Ranked at number 2, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Look, they had a close win against the Dallas Cowboys. And the reason why I don't have them ranked number 1 is not because they're like a bad team or anything. Or it's not because they regressed or anything. The reason why I had them dropping from 1 to 2 is because you could argue that if it wasn't for a pass interference call or a non-pass interference call, that they could have lost the game. But they still came up with clutch and won, still won the game, still ranked number 2, top 2 team. Could easily be ranked number 1. But the reason why they're not ranked number 1, because the number 1 team is the Kansas City Chiefs, facing adversity, down 2 scores in this game against the Cleveland Browns, came back and just showed up and showed out. Tyreek Hill had 197 yards. Travis Kelce doing what he does best, just eating defenses alive. Patrick Mahomes, you know, he had the big highlight play, rolling to his right, throwing down the field, finding Tyreek Hill. Typical Mahomes highlights. It is just regular for him to do that at this point. And the defense getting a turnover when they needed to late in the game. I love the way the Chiefs played this week. Had to fight through a little bit of adversity in the first half, closed the game out in the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your 2021 NFL season week 2 power rankings. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you disagree, leave it in the comments. Join the Discord. Click all the links in the description. Hit the like button. Comment down below if you're new to the channel. Also subscribe if you're new to the channel. We on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So tell your friends, family, and favorite sports fans about the channel. It's Talking Sports with MG Nas. You've been talking sports with MG Nas, and I am out. Peace.